Hello everyone, Cindy here with Monarch Mom DIY. Thank you so much for joining me today on my channel where I love to bring you the best tips and tools for creating beautiful home decor on a budget. Today I am here with 4 American patriotic home decor DIYs that are really easy to put together with a few supplies. I also have one project that is changeable, whether it is a season or a holiday or just every day. So with all that being said, let's get crafting. For our first project today, we're going to be making this canvas flag painting using any size canvas, one of these God Bless Americas from Hobby Lobby, and some Waverly chalk paint. Now, I believe this is a 16 by 20 canvas, and then I just used some washi tape to mark off my rectangle that I'm going to paint with Waverly's color called Ocean. I love this blue. It's got a little bit of a country, maybe some gray in it, but I just really love it for patriotic decor. And I'm going to give that one coat of that ocean in that top rectangle. Now this is from Hobby Lobby. They do have these again this year, and I'm just filling in with some wood filler the holes at the top that had the jute string, because we're not going to be hanging this. We're going to be attaching it to the front of our canvas. I'm going to use that same Waverly chalk paint in the color Ocean, and I'm very carefully just going to paint the top. I'm trying to not get paint down on the edges, and I'm doing all the words in Ocean, and then I'm just going to do the 2 stars in Lacquer with Waverly chalk paint. You could also use crimson. It is a very, very similar color. So we'll get that all painted, and then moving back to our canvas, I did move the washi tape now to cover the edges of the blue, and then I spritzed some water on my canvas and kind of spread out the water. I'm going to give a little bit of a watercolor effect. Now just dry brushing some of the lacquer in stripes using a chippy brush, and you can see how the water is kind of giving it an effect there. And once I have dry brushed on a wet canvas my lacquer, I'm going to take some of it up with this bigger brush, but I was having a hard time getting the red on the white stripes. So then I decided just to take a paper towel and wipe away the excess. This gives you a nice muted look to your red stripes. And then because the canvas is still damp, you can go ahead and just wipe where the white stripes are. Then I did remove the washi tape from my blue rectangle. Next, I'm taking this paint marker by Magnolia Design Company, and I just decided to make some wavy lines there to mark off the blue rectangle. You're going to see that paint marker come into play towards the end of this project. For my stars, I could have glued wood stars on, but I decided to use some of these white star buttons that I got at Walmart. They had red, white, and blue, and they're all different sizes, so I just used some of the white ones. And then I'm taking my God Bless America from Hobby Lobby that I painted, and we're going to hot glue this down into the bottom right corner of our flag canvas, just using some hot glue and lining that up at the bottom there and attaching that down. Now I'm going to add a little bit more detail with the black chalk marker or chalk paint marker, and going around the edges just so it kind of defines the edges a little bit more and gives it a little bit of a whimsical look. I love how this turned out. You could definitely use some of these techniques for any other type of canvas painting. Doesn't have to be patriotic, but I love how all the elements of this project came together. If you're stopping by my channel for the first time today, welcome. I'm so glad you're here and you found me. I hope you'll consider sticking around by hitting that subscribe button. If you are a returning viewer or subscriber, welcome back, and thank you so much for your support of my channel. For DIY number 2, we're going to be making this flag star sign using 3 of these galvanized metal stars from Dollar Tree 2 packs of the 5-gallon paint sticks from Lowe's or Home Depot, and our same 2 Waverly chalk paint colors, actually 3 colors. So the first thing I did was remove the tags and the jute twine hangers from all 3 of my metal stars. I did give these a quick spray of a matte finish clear spray. Just, I thought maybe it would help the chalk paint stick a little bit better. But on 2 of my metal stars, I'm going to paint them entirely with my white Waverly chalk paint. And I do end up also painting the edges of each of the stars. And then our 3rd star, we're going to use that blue color called Ocean. And again, I'm just going to give these one good coat, and then I did spray them again with the clear matte spray. Now, using 5 of the paint sticks, I'm turning them over to their backs, and then I'm using some of the giant craft sticks, hot gluing them across, and this is going to hold our paint sticks together. You could also use this idea in a smaller version using wood stars and maybe one of those rectangular trays from Dollar Tree. But now that they're all glued together, I'm giving this just one coat, again, of my white Waverly chalk paint. You could do this in any of the 3 patriotic colors, whichever you prefer. Now, using that same washi tape as I used on the canvas, I'm going to use this to make stripes on my 2 white stars. You can see I'm putting the second piece right up against the first one, and then another one right up against that one, but then I'm going to take the middle one out. So I'm going to keep doing this until I get stripes of washi tape or the white star showing through all the way up and down my star. And we will do this for both of our white stars. Then once we have our tape stripes all the way across our stars, I'm going to take my Lacquer chalk paint and I'm going to paint all the places between the strips of tape. This is going to give us our red stripes, and then when we take off the washi tape, we will have our white stripes that are underneath. It's always so fun when you peel either tape like this or a stencil and reveal the look that you were going for. I just liked this skinny stripes from the washi tape, and this was super easy to do. Once all my stripes were done, I did take these out to the garage and spray them with clear matte spray. Then on my blue star, I took an ultrafine white painter's marker from Walmart, and I just decided to draw white stars randomly on the blue star and fill those in. And I felt like this worked really well. My stars were not all the same size. They were close to the same shape. You could use white star stickers if you want instead of drawing them, but I kind of liked the look of drawing them. And I did spray that one as well once the stars were dry. After sanding my board just to get any bumps off, I laid my 3 stars on top, and I did use a little pencil to mark where they were. Because these are metal, I used little dots of E6000 and then weighted my metal stars down to try to get them to adhere really well to the board. I did also end up reinforcing the tops of each star with some hot glue as well around the edges. And here's the finished project. I just love how bright and crisp and clean it looks, and patriotic, and it doesn't even need any words. If you love budget home decor DIY videos like this, please consider giving this video a thumbs up, as that lets YouTube know that people are enjoying my content and they will show it to more people. DIY number 3 is our one that you can change out based on the season or holiday. We're using a pizza pan, this stencil from Magnolia, and a magnet and some ribbon. We're going to make a welcome sign for our front door. So the first thing I did with my pizza pan, you can see I'm painting the back, but I did give it a spray also of the clear matte spray, just again to give it one more little layer for the paint to stick to. I'm going to give that 2 coats of white chalk paint, and then I sprayed it again with my clear matte spray. Then using my same washi tape, I'm blocking out a section that I'm going to now paint with our black chalk paint, kind of to make it look a little bit like a chalkboard. But because this sign is going to be changing for different seasons or holidays, I wanted the sign itself to be very neutral so that whatever color or design of bow was at the top, it wouldn't clash. So once I had the black paint on there, I'm peeling the washi off, and then we'll spray that again with some clear matte. Now I'm going to use this stencil that says, "Welcome to our porch or home, sit long, talk much, laughed often." I'm just going to use the word welcome. So you can see I fuzzed my stencil on my tacky cloth so it's not going to be too sticky. And then once I had the word welcome lined up in my black stripe there on my pizza pan, I'm using my white chalk paste and I'm just pressing that across the mesh to just stencil the word welcome. You can also see at the top of my pizza pan, I took a screwdriver and a hammer, and I also made these 2 holes so that I can add a jute string to hang our sign. I just love peeling these stencils. They look so awesome. All right, I'm going to make a bow with 2 different ribbons. This actually was a Christmas ribbon, but I love that it's just the burlap and the red rickrack. So once I just have it folded over, so I have 2 tails and 2 loops, I am just using some of this floral wire to kind of tie it together in the center. And then we will trim our tails and dovetail them a little bit once we get our wire right there in the middle and nice and tight. Just twist it a bunch of times and then you can trim off the excess. Another thing you could use are zip ties. That is probably a little stronger, but for this the floral wire was going to be fine. Now if you fold over the tail and go from the outside down towards the center, you can get a nice dovetailed look there on your bow. This is the other ribbon I'm using. I got this one just the other day at Hobby Lobby. It is also a wired ribbon, and you can see how I'm kind of folding it over, and then you just twist it in the back so that both of your tails are showing the front design of your ribbon. Just finagle it there in your hands, and then once you have it laying like this with your 2 loops and your 2 tails, again you take a piece of the floral wire and twist it around the center and get it nice and tight, and then trim off the excess as well. Next, we're going to stack our slightly smaller bow on top of the larger one. Take another piece of floral wire, and now we're going to tie these together to make one larger bow. And this is basically what I'm going to plan on doing for each season or holiday. I will put this one up, and then maybe in August I'll change it to kind of a bee theme or a lemon theme ribbon. Dollar Tree's been carrying lots of different ribbons, so this should be easy to change out for the holidays. I did put a red star button in the center, and then I'm just taking one of these magnets from Dollar Tree and I'm gluing it to the back of my bow. While that glue's drying, I'm going to take some thin jute twine from Dollar Tree. I doubled it, put a knot, and then we'll cut off the excess there, and then we'll come back through the other hole from the back to the front, and we'll tie another knot to secure our jute string for hanging. Now I wanted to make sure I did this first because I plan on taking some nautical rope all around that edge, and so I wanted this underneath so that it would be hidden by the nautical rope. So here you can see I'm taking that nautical rope and just putting a bead of hot glue right down the center of that edge, and we'll go all the way around our pizza pan. And once our nautical rope is all the way around and the magnet on our bow is dry, we can just stick that there at the top of our pizza pan. And like I said, change that out for whatever season or holiday it happens to be. Thanks again so much for joining me today. Please be sure to check the description box below the title of this video for information on supplies I've used and other links like my Facebook page and my Magnolia Design Company website. DIY number 4 is super simple, but I was inspired by some window clings that I found at Dollar Tree for Patriotic, and I'm using also 3 of these wooden craft cubes. Now, I have not been able to find these in my store, but you are able to order them online to have them shipped to your store. So that is what I've been doing. I'm going to paint one of them with lacquer, one with white, and one with ocean blue. Now, if you just can't find these cubes or maybe don't want to spend $1.25 on each one, you could also do this project with some of the foam dice. Once all my blocks were dry, I did take my little sander and ran it along each of the edges of each of my cubes, just gave it a little bit more of a rustic look and kind of defined the edges on each side of the cube as well. So I did that to all 3. And then if you look at the window clings there, you see the 3 blocks that say USA. That's the window cling we're going to use off of this sheet. I'm giving the front of the red cube just a light layer of matte finish Mod Podge, and then we will cut out the U block that has the red letter on it, just trimming it with my scissors, and then we'll Mod Podge that onto the red block. Then we'll do the same thing for the S and the A. Once my window cling letter square was where I wanted it to be, I did go over it again with another layer of Mod Podge. And here's our set of 3 blocks. These would look super cute stacked like this, or even side by side in a tiered tray, or on any sort of decor for 4th of July. And our last DIY for this video is going to be this USA house sign using 3 of these house-shaped whiteboards, these letters from Hobby Lobby, stars from Dollar Tree, and our same paint colors. So these tall, skinny letters are from Hobby Lobby. You get 2 in a package for, I believe it's $1.29. I used these earlier in the year for a spring sign, and I just love the font. I think they're super cute and very reasonable in price. So the U and the S I painted with my lacquer chalk paint, and the A we're painting with ocean, just giving them a good coat on the front and in all the little crevices that you might see. Now moving to our houses, I just used some pliers to remove the little jute twine loop for hanging, because we're not going to be hanging these. And then we're going to use our antique wax, and I wanted to darken up the edges. So we're just brushing this on. It's okay if it gets on the whiteboard because that slick material, it's not going to stick to anyway, and we'll be able to just wipe it off. So doing the front edge of the frame and also the side edges, wiping away the excess to get that nice dark wood stained look, and then also wiping any that got onto the whiteboard surface. For this project, I'm not worrying about what the back looks like. If I was going to sell this in a craft show or give it as a gift, I would most likely paint the entire back of this project black. So we're going to do that same thing to all three of our houses. Then coming back to our letters, I'm using that same ultra fine white paint marker that I used for the metal stars, and I'm doing tiny little stars on the U. And then we're going to, on the S, do some white stripes. And then I don't show this on film, but then I'm going to also do small white stars on the blue letter A. Super easy to do. I love these paint markers from Walmart. They come in different size tips for whatever type project you might be doing. Next, using 9 of these wood stars, I'm going to paint 3 of them with lacquer, 3 of them with ocean, and 3 of them with white. Now, kind of like we did on the tall triple star sign, I'm going to use some larger craft sticks. I'm just going to glue them across the 2 seams between the left and middle house and then the middle and right house. And this is just going to hold our 3 houses together. And now we can hot glue our letters to the front of our houses. I think this is super cute too, even if you just kept it with just the house shape and the letters. But once we get the letters glued down, we are going to add those stars that we painted as a final decorative touch to this project. And here's our finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed these DIYs. I know it's a little early for summer, but these items are already showing up in Dollar Tree, so go get them. Thank you, everyone. Please be sure to let me know in the comments which of these projects was your favorite, and we'll see you next time. Take care.